Isiah Leggett, Montgomery County's first African-American executive, rose from poverty in rural Louisiana to lead the state's largest and most diverse county. I'm MCM reporter Doug Tallman. As Leggett prepares to leave the office of county executive, I talked with him about what it took to win that leadership role and hold it for 3 terms. You grew up in Louisiana, one of 13 children,
Right.
in a 3-room house.
That's right. Not 3 bedrooms, not 3 bathrooms, 3 rooms.
How did y'all fit?
Everywhere. But it was challenging.
Sure.
There was no indoor plumbing initially, no indoor lighting initially. It was very difficult.
Is the house still there?
It was torn down about 7 years ago, but we have the house that was next door that's still there. And I have photographs of that house, but it's, it's a remarkable community. The community is not much change from the time that I grew up. They paved the street and so forth in front, but many of the houses are still there.
Did you ever go back, like after becoming county executive?
Oh yeah. And many people look around and say, this is a guy that's county executive of Montgomery County. I remembered when he was struggling here. I remember the poverty. I remember the big family. And certainly they all wish me well, but it is a truly remarkable transition. To assume that I would be at this position in life as a county executive of one of the more affluent communities in America, one of the more diverse, one of the largest in our county, in our nation, is a remarkable American life story. And I tell people, I'm sure that it could happen in other places, but it certainly has happened in Montgomery County. It certainly has happened for me. And I attribute an awful lot of people who helped me along the way. My church, back in Alexandria, Louisiana, raised monies for scholarships. They raised monies also. And in the South, you sell chicken sandwiches and have fish fries and you do all the things that are important to try to raise monies. And they raised monies. They raised more money that year than they'd ever raised for any cause in the history of the church. You know how much they'd raised? A grand total of $37. And that had to be divided between 3 students. So I got $12 from the church for school. The other 2 students, Reverend Theodore Williams, a minister in Houston, Texas, a big, beautiful church. The other one, Joyce Gipstar, a teacher in Rapides Parish, Louisiana, and assistant principal, I think, and myself. We got $12 apiece for all 3 students. Still not enough money. And so there was a program at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, whereby you would allow a student to stay on the campus during the summer. They would earn room and board, and whatever they have left over would go toward tuition for the fall. And I went down to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and walked to the university business office and said, I'm here to participate in this program. And they said, well, where's your letter of certification? And I didn't have anything. They told me no. I came back maybe an hour or so later and they asked me for transcripts and a number of other pieces of document. They turned me away a second time. I came back after lunch and they turned me away a third time. Came back at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They had turned me away the 4th time. And I was actually walking away. And the business lady, and I never forget her name, it's Betty Ann Johnson, assistant business manager, called me back. And she said, listen, we've told you 4 times you keep coming back. And you are not able to participate in the program. We have no slots available. But she said to me, our outside maintenance crew needs some help. And I can try to find a way to get you in the dormitory if you're willing to work for the outside maintenance crew. But you're not in the program, but we'll give you some of the benefits as though you were in the program. I picked up the trash, I cut the grass all summer. And somewhere during that summer I said, I want to do something different. And I made a change. I don't know how it came to me that I was going to devote myself academically. My parents and others had always said that you're much smarter than you reflected on your grades and so forth. You have great leadership skills. You could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, this type of thing. I'd never seen a lawyer, a doctor of color. The first time I saw a person of color in a position of a lawyer, doctor, or any professional position, other than maybe a minister or a teacher in my school, was actually first year in college. So imagine that. Someone telling you could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you're much smarter than you reflected. That was in one ear, out the other, because I'd never actually seen it. So I made this decision, because I didn't like cutting the grass around the university campus, that I was going to do something different. And I did. I just devoted myself academically. Now, there was a challenge with that because I'm from Alexandria, Louisiana, a little small community. And the kids from Baton Rouge, Shreveport, the city, New Orleans, all wore better clothes. They sounded much more sophisticated. And I could not assume that I was as well in terms intellectually as any of those kids. I remember the first week in school. The teacher gave us an assignment. It was on a Thursday. They said, come back Monday, and we're going to review and talk about this particular book. And so Monday morning, come back, we're in the class. I'm there with all these kids from the other places around the university, around the state. And she called on someone, what I thought, to respond to the question about the book. No one would raise their hands. Finally, I raised my hand. And I started discussing the book from one end to the other. I didn't have any notes in front of me, nothing, just discussing it off the top of my head. And she said, oh, no, that wasn't the assignment. The assignment was to come back to discuss the first chapter of the book. And a light went off for me. And the light was this. All of these kids from all of these other places, better schools, were not prepared to discuss the first chapter of the book. I was prepared and ready to discuss the entire book. All of a sudden, that light said to me what my high school coach and mother said, you're just as good, just as smart as the other kids. And it was like a rocket blasting off because it was right there in front of me. Mm-hmm. They couldn't discuss the first chapter. I could discuss the entire book. I'll never forget it.
Stay connected to your community with MCM. Watch the entire Leggett Legacy series on mymcmedia.org.